I have a game idea I'd like to propose to the council. In this game, you're in a wheelchair, the monster is blind, and you need to use sound and your wits to outsmart the monster and escape this hospital. This project I've been working on for the past 15 months of my life, and it's still definitely far from perfect and far from a state where I'm ready to release it. But I want to take you on my journey of why it's taken me so long so far, and why I decided to go this route. From the start, I knew that this game was always going to be a horror game. I worked on a horror game in high school, and as you can probably see here, it's kind of been a little bit of an obsession of mine. And I really want to focus on the trope of removing agency from the player. I took a little bit of inspiration from a fairly underrated Conjuring movie, Annabelle Creations, where the main girl in the movie is terrorized by the Annabelle doll whilst being in a wheelchair. Here's where we came to our first problem with making the game. When making a horror game, your main skill set that you kind of want to focus on is ambient immersive sound and mainly 3D art modeling. My background is that I'm a software engineer, and that's about it. I can code fairly well, but don't really have much experience in game coding. So from the start, this was going to be a bit of an uphill battle. Apart from the obvious guy in a wheelchair and blind monster, I had 3 key goals in mind when I was going to make this game. Number 1, I wanted minimal guardrails, a bit of freedom to how you outsmart this monster. What I like to call pre-shat pants, or the scare factor of the game. I obviously wanted the player to be very on edge and scared, but minimally requiring on jump scares, hopefully. And 3, I wanted minimum UI as possible. I think nothing can kind of take you out of the game more than when there is just UI everywhere all over your screen. And with that, I take you back to September 2024, where my goal was to release this horror game before Halloween, which I guess I'm doing just a whole other year later than I expected. Something that was deeply important to me when going to this game might seem a bit weird, but it was really important to me that when your character looked down, they could see that they were in a wheelchair. Essentially, I thought that since being in a wheelchair was quite an unusual game mechanic, I wanted that to be visible for the player. So the kind of disembodied look down and see nothing wasn't going to cut it in this case. Which brought me to my next list of problems. 1, I can't 3D model for the life of me. And 2, I realized very quickly I don't like 3D modeling. So I started off by trying to cover my shortcomings by what would be introduce myself to my best friend, the asset store. And I bought 2 asset packs. One was Abandoned Mansion Hallway, so sort of a modular level. And then number 2, I bought a 10-in-1 wheelchair pack, so I could start trying to, I guess, get some player model together. And then from here, instead of focusing on the mechanics, I got very hyper fixated on trying to Frankenstein together a metahuman on a wheelchair. Apparently the best way to do that was in Blender, so then I went into a rabbit hole in Blender. Then I decided for the next 30 days I was going to learn Blender, and we just shifted video ideas. And then probably about 2 weeks in, I really noticed, yeah, Blender is just really not for me. So then in September, I decided I need to reward my hard work of getting nothing done by buying another asset pack, which I bought a barn, because I guess my creative juices decided we should set this map in a barn. And then a couple of attempts after that, unfortunately, I gave up on the game idea up until 2025. January 2025, I decided I was going to try and switch gears and make something maybe a bit easier. And so I decided I was going to make an observation duty style game, which in hindsight, I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I feel like that genre is a little bit oversaturated. But maybe in a YouTube short sometime, I'll kind of explain what my concept was there, because I still believe it was still quite unique. So I ended up buying a new atmospheric house asset pack, once again, back to my best friend, the asset store. And I believe explicitly that I gave up on this idea because I couldn't work out how to get a door to hinge properly. Instead of your door facing and hinging, it was like wrapping around. So in February, I decided that I had too many shortcomings in Unreal Engine, and I was going to do a Udemy course, which ended up being, aside from the asset store, the best $20 I spent. and I spent about 20 hours on this course. And ironically, about 5 hours in, I probably knew how to fix my Frankenstein wheelchair idea, as well as my door hinging idea. So this is where we come to what I like to call Phase 1, Operation Frankenstein. And I've sort of teased at this a bit earlier on in the video, but this is where I truly locked in. I was going to focus on getting this player character to the wheelchair. You know, having a look at some of the stuff on screen, you can see that I did get it to work. Yes, it's scuffed. Yes, I broke multiple rules in the game developer's handbook, except for one key rule, which is just as long as it works, that's good. And then we moved on to Phase 2, which I like to call Welcome Back to the Asset Store, because in my time away from the game, letting this game idea cook in my head, I decided the barn was no longer where we were going to set it, and I was really hyper-focused on the idea of setting it in a mental hospital. I ended up buying 2 asset packs. One of these was a bit too futuristic for my liking, and the other one I very quickly found out used the term modular very, very lightly and did not meet my use case. But to focus on this part, this is probably where I actually got the most done. I locked in and finished my throwing mechanics. I worked out how I was going to get a lot of my collision to work, especially with my wheels, seeming it was a bit off. And then I put together some animations in the most scuffed way possible. Like, I'm pretty sure the metahuman sitting there is like a 1-frame animation that just is always in motion. But hey, once again, as long as it works. Number 1 rule in the game developer's handbook, I've decided. Moving on to Phase 3, which was just monster AI and navigation, and this is something I was most nervous for going in. In this phase, we were learning a bit about how nav maps worked, and this is where we really decided that this modular hospital was not going to cut it for my use case. So then I moved over back to my original abandoned mansion hallways, because it was a very truly modular asset pack. I was able to build the level how I like and have as much space as needed to maneuver around this blind monster, make the navigation pretty solid, I guess. And then I also got very stuck on how navigations work with my door system. I didn't expect doors to give me this much issue, but I guess I had to like change it so the monster and myself could interact with the door. I really felt, I guess, the true complexities of how different systems interact with each other and why game projects just get exponentially more and more complex. In the end, this is where I ended up finding a monster pack. I went on Mixamo, I got some animations together, and then I decided that this monster was goofy as hell, and I changed to a nightmare monster, as I called it, and we went for something a bit more scarier that had its own animations. I learned how state systems work, how the animations change with states. It did take me a good long while, but I finally feel like I got somewhere close to that I'm happy with. For a checkpoint, I have a playable game. It doesn't have an end state, it has a kill state, and I'm just going to show you a little bit of a gameplay tease of playing this game. Okay guys, welcome to the gameplay. We've just woken up in a hospital room. No idea what's happened because we haven't added any notes for story yet. But there is these giant set of keys here that I'm going to pick up that make no sound at all when we pick them up. And I see this bottle on the ground here, which is hardly being covered by my flashlight. So we're going to pick this up for now. Drop that. And it seems like the door is locked according to my debug text. So we'll unlock that one and go on through. Find our bottle. Our safety bottle, of course. We'll start heading down the hallway. I'm going to quickly go to the right here and have a look. It seems like there's a door over here. It seems like, according to our debug text, we do not have a key and the door is locked. Which seems to be the front door of the hospital. So let's pick up our safety bottle. And we'll head on down here. And now we meet our enemy in this game, our blind monster. Who seems to be quite on alert right now. So we're gonna wait for him to calm down a bit. and he's walking down the hallway and has gotten trapped on the door. Very unusual. Let's see if we can... he's coming my way, which I'm not a big fan of. We could stop over there, that'd be great. I want to move past him, but he could just change directions and that would be a little sus. So now he's on alert. If I squeak one more time, he's gonna get me. I'm hoping we can try and find an angle and lock him in this room. Okay, he's opened the door. For the sake of this this gameplay tease, essentially the room on the right, we have the key for. We have a patient room key, and that also happens to be a patient room. So we can lock him in there if we can get him into that room. The room on the left is the director's office. This one over there has the key for the front door to escape. Okay, he's going this way, which I'm not a fan of. I'm gonna throw the bottle. Wasn't my best throw. He's on alert. Please don't come this way. Okay, he's walking that way. Please go into the room. Don't like that. Kind of hoping he walks in the room by himself. And then we can lock that on him. But it seems like he's kind of thinks he's the director of this this facility. It's not great. See, like, turning the wheelchair can also make me squeak, so it's a little sus here to move. I'm gonna go in the room. Oh my god. Oh, that was a bit of a risky move, but if we can sort of... Oh god, he's coming this way. Move. I don't know where he is. I don't know where he is. Oh, he left the room. Huh. Squeak. Squeak. Okay, he heard... Oh my god, he heard the new sound. Oh, he heard my second squeak, but thankfully the... Okay, I'm gonna risk it. Please. Oh my god. Oh my god, I locked the door in time. Okay, he's gonna be a bit of a loud boy for a bit here. But we've managed to achieve the we've managed to get the lock for the front door. We're gonna let him go on alert and be annoyed. But hey, just playtesting this a bit is giving me some good ideas of how I'm gonna fix some of this game in future. Which I think it is really important to playtest your games. So, since we've unlocked the front door and we're free to leave this facility, let's close it behind us and lock the door just for double safety. Alright, and that's that. Well, thanks so much for watching the gameplay, guys. Up above here, I'm going to have the final dollar count I spent on the game. I believe it's $500 or something dollars. I don't know, I'm putting it in post. But I'm also going to add a list up above of things I want to add before finishing this game. There is still a long list and a lot of things to fix, but I really hope that the effort is worth it. Right now I don't have a Steam page for the game, but if you're watching the video a bit later, it might be up by now, so check the description. I will update it there when there is a Steam page if you want to wishlist it. The game is going to be absolutely free to play, so look forward to that. I just want as many people as possible to play my game. I don't really care about the money with this project. But if you want to support the game, also subscribe to the channel. I will eventually be putting out some some shorts, some different type of content, as well as some progress updates with this game. But hey, I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll catch you in the next one.